Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. And today we're going to be talking about the full moon in Virgo, which is occurring on and around March 7th, 2023, depending on where you're located in the world. This is going to be a big, big energy. We have this full moon happening on the day that Saturn enters the sign of Pisces. So there's a lot of powerful energies at play here. Really a massive portal of energy that is coming in the wake, of course, of the 3-3 portal, which occurs on and around the 3rd of the month and really spans the entire first week of March. And if you guys want more information on the 3-3 portal, check out the 3-3 portal video, which did premiere just before this one is coming out. That is a beautiful energy that we are working with, and it is really opening up and preparing us for this next gateway of energy that occurs on the 7th as Saturn enters Pisces and the moon is full in the sign of Virgo. As always, during a full moon, we have the moon in Virgo opposing the sun in its opposite sign, which is the sign of Pisces. So we have that beautiful Piscean sun, and the sun during this full moon is going to be sandwiched right between Mercury and Neptune. And what I mean by sandwiched is that it's within 8 degrees of each of these planets, not what I would consider close enough to really feel it as a conjunction energy during this moon, but influencing the energy of which we've got one on one side and one on the other. The sun is moving toward, I believe it is Neptune. Let me take a look here at the chart. Yes, the sun is moving toward Neptune and has kind of out of the energies of Mercury. But we got these, we're feeling it. It's right there. So this is, of course, an interesting juxtaposition. We're going to talk about this for a minute. With the sun and Mercury on both sides of the sun, or Neptune and Mercury on both sides of the sun. The sun represents our consciousness, right? Some people consider it our ego or our sense of self. And so our consciousness and also our life force, Spirit's saying it represents our life force as well. Mars is another planet that represents our life force, but the sun, it's just that's coming through right now, that the sun is representative of our life force as well as our consciousness. And so with Neptune here, which represents higher spiritual consciousness, it's influencing our consciousness in that way. And then we have Mercury, which represents the lower forms of our mental bodies, right? Our human consciousness, our linear mind. So we have this higher consciousness energy. We have this linear mind energy, and then we have our own consciousness kind of like in the middle of this. So it definitely feels like this is assisting us once more in lifting up to a higher consciousness and perspective. And when the sun comes into conjunction with Neptune, that's going to happen in a few days' time, I would say. I will actually just kind of briefly go through here and see if I can find my notes for Pisces season, because I'm sure I mentioned when the exact day that the sun was coming into conjunction with Pisces. I don't know. It's going to take too long for me to go through all of that. But it's coming up here within the week, this conjunction with the sun and Neptune, rather, if I misspoke. You guys know what I'm saying. So that is going to be continuing to expand our consciousness here. And let me backtrack for a second and just let you guys know, when I say the upcoming week, I mean like if we are talking from the 7th moving forward, because that's the linear time frame that we're working with here. If you guys are watching this video before the 7th, it's going to be a little bit further out. So when I talk about what's upcoming from this full moon, know that I'm talking from March 7th forward. So just continuing to expand and open up that consciousness, open up that higher perspective, all of the things that Pisces energy likes to do. And that Pisces season video that I mentioned, definitely check that out as well. That was a live stream that we did to get more information on these Pisces energies. But we really are coming into a deeper alignment with our soul. And during this full moon in Virgo, that alignment is going to be continuing to progress. And with Virgo energy, we're really being asked to look at our daily habits, our routines, all of these sixth house energies, the house that Virgo rules. And where is it? How are those activities? How are those habits and routines supporting or hindering our soul's growth? And remember, as Spirit told us recently, it either supports your soul's advancement or it doesn't. Right? It either resonates with your soul or it doesn't. There is no in between. We talk a lot about working with the gray areas of life, but when it comes to this, it is very much a yes or a no. It does or it does not. And so really looking at all these simple little ways that we live our daily lives and how it is that we can implement better habits and routines that support our soul's growth and support all aspects of our being. Remember, this 3-3 portal, very much about the mind, the body, and the spirit, bringing all of those aspects into balance and noticing, taking note of where it is that we are perhaps out of balance in some area so we can bring it back in. Remember, having too much or too little, either one creates an imbalance. And so we want to just be aware of those things and begin implementing these routines. We talk about here quite frequently the spiritual hygiene routine. We want to get really good with our spiritual hygiene. This is clearing ourselves. This is shielding ourselves. This is doing body scans. And I am going to be getting into more detail about these things in the near future here. I'm learning a lot of really powerful techniques, and I need to get more clear on what it is that I'm able to share in a public forum such as this and what I'm not. And I am going to be sharing some more in-depth stuff for you guys. But if you want some basics on this stuff as far as the spiritual hygiene goes, check out the Ascension Informational Videos playlist. So moving on with the astrology here. We have, so as Saturn hits 0 degrees of Pisces, it is going to be doing so in relation to the nodes. So we have a mystic triangle going on here, a trine and a sextile to the nodes. And so this energy, what this is doing is really showing us how Saturn in Pisces is intricately connected to our life path, our life purpose, moving us forward in the evolution of our energy. We have as well, during this full moon, a square going on to Mars. And this is Mars still in the sign of Gemini at 21 degrees of Gemini. This is a point of tension, and this is creating a T-square because it is squaring both the sun and the moon, who are opposing each other. So we have Mars kind of here as that point of action. And so this is the point that we want to look at. We want to look at our action. What are the actions that we can take as we become aware of the habits and routines that we need to instill, of the ways that we are out of balance, of the ways that we are out of alignment with our soul? What are the actions we can take to come into greater alignment? And the fact that this is a squaring aspect indicates tension. It indicates pressure. And so it indicates that for many of us, some of the actions that we are feeling called to take in order to come into greater alignment are going to make us a bit uncomfortable. All right. So this is uncomfortable growth here. These are the actions for some of us that we may have known were in our best and highest good, but we've been dragging our feet as far as taking action around. And so the pressure is going to be felt anywhere where we've been dragging our feet or holding off on taking the actions that are necessary for our well-being in any aspect of our being. Moon in Virgo is also about service to others. So the energy of how it is that we are best of service to others is going to come into greater focus as well. And I want to share something. I'm taking courses with, if you guys haven't checked out Rising Phoenix Aurora, I absolutely suggest that you do. She's my teacher that I'm learning the aura and the raw Reiki from, and she is absolutely amazing. She is a wealth of knowledge and wisdom and just a wellspring of love and light. And I'm really, it's sparking so much as I'm going through the course and sort of the preparatory materials for the training that I'm going to be doing in May. It's just sparking and reminding me of so much, and stuff that we do, much of which we do talk about on here, but that we haven't been talking about as much perhaps lately, or we don't talk about as often as maybe keeps it relevant in our minds. So as we're talking about the energy of service, finding our place of service here with this, not just the full moon in Virgo, but the sun in Pisces, this axis of service, right? This axis of service here, it's reminding me of the energy I shared with you guys a while ago when I read The Law of One. It was channeled material from the Raw Collective, and this is a collective that Aurora works with. And so she talks a lot about these energies as well. And I just finished watching a video on this where we were talking about the energy of the 49% service to self, 51% service to others, and how this is a necessary balance that we have to achieve in order to ascend, in order to raise our consciousness. And she was talking a lot about helping to differentiate, what does that mean? 49% service to self, 51% service to others. And that 49% of, so this is the balance that we're going to be looking at. During this full moon in Virgo, are we balanced in this respect? This means 49% of our energy is spent on self-care, right? It's spent on providing for ourselves the things that we need to be whole and complete and healthy and vital. It's doing our own healing work, right? It's all the ways that we make the self feel good. It's all the spiritual hygiene stuff that we talked about. Okay, that's all service to self. And then service to others is how we bring healing to the world, how we be that light in the life of another. And it doesn't always have to look like singular actions, right? Like, I helped this person do this, or I held space for this person, or I, offered my healing services to the world to help connect people and enliven and activate their own inner healer, right? It's not even necessarily just that. Just know that when you, this is a fun paradox that came to mind for me, right? Is when you are doing service to self, when it is that beneficial service, right? That your own healing work, all of these different things that help you to hold more light, that help you to hold your own energy and vibrate more powerfully at your own frequency, emit your soul song. That is also service to others, because just you being present in a room is raising the vibration of that room. You are affecting people with your energetic field, and you are a catalyst to helping people awaken simply by being present, simply by being who you are. And so it's like the two really balance each other out. All right, but this idea is that we want to take care of the self, right? 49% is what we talk about on here all the time. We talk about filling our own cup first. All right, the 51% is the overflow that we share with the world. But when our cup is full, that overflow is enormous. All right, and so it's just keeping that in check, making sure that we're not veering too much to one end or the other, right? We're not giving so much to others in a way that makes us feel depleted, all right? Because that's an imbalance, and that is not healthy either. Or that we are serving the self. And when we're talking about service to self in a negative context, what that means is more our actions are motivated purely in self-interest. And this becomes a toxic energy. And we see this playing out in the world at large. This is part of this virus that I've begun to talk about with you guys, right? That many call the Archon, the AI virus that has infected this planet, mankind. Many say many pockets of this universe. All right, that's that twisted service to self energy where we are manipulating, we are harming others or willing to harm others in order to achieve whatever it is that we want, purely for the satisfaction of the self. All right, when we are in the high vibration energy of service to self, we understand our goal. Well, it's not a singular goal, right? Our goal is to be whole and complete and fulfilled and joyful and blissful within the self. But we know and we appreciate that that is also assisting the all, right? And the actions that we take are with harm to none. All right. If it is harming another person, then that is a negative vibration of service to self. If it is bringing harmony and peace, or it is not affecting anyone else in a negative way, that is positive polarized service to self. And of course, if it is affecting the collective in a positive way, that is service to self that is now blossoming also into service to others. So it's a beautiful the way this works. Don't get too caught up in the numbers and the percentages. Just remember, fill your cup to overflowing, share the excess with the world. Take care of you first, put on your own oxygen mask, but also look for the ways that you can be of service and be a light in another's life. All right. What else do we want to talk about with the astrology here? We have Sun sextile Uranus and the Moon trine Uranus. So some beautiful aspects here with Uranus, bringing in more of those downloads, more of that higher mind energy, that higher vibration, right? Uranus represents the higher mind. It represents our connection to cosmic consciousness. Or another aspect, Neptune and Uranus both connect us to cosmic consciousness, as does Pluto, just in different ways. All right, so lots of activations coming through in that context. Activating the emotional body, activating the consciousness. Yeah, I think, oh yeah, the last thing I wanted to mention is Chiron and Jupiter are within a few degrees of each other, and Venus is a few degrees away from them. So Chiron, Jupiter, and Venus, all in the sign of Aries, activating each other. So this is a powerful portal and energy for healing. And it's bringing a lot of hope. It's bringing a lot of rejuvenation to our healing process. It's kind of like a healing balm for our wounds, and it's helping us. Where I feel this full moon giving us insight into these deep wounds that want to be healed and transmuted, but like bringing that in a loving and compassionate way. Like it's not like a slap in the face kind of energy like we sometimes receive from, for instance, Pluto, right? This is like a gentler energy that's coming through, and it's revealing these things to us, but it's like gently peeling back the layers. So that I feel very, very beautiful and beneficial for us with Venus here. This is especially when it's regarding self-love, self-image with that Aries energy, right? Self-love, self-image, self-confidence, our ability to be abundance and vibrate in that beautiful higher vibration. This is feminine energy with Venus, all right? So that healing with the divine feminine. And we talked about in the 3-3 portal how we were going to be experiencing a womb healing and clearing. Deep clearing and healing in these feminine energies. So we feel more evidence of that with this astrological aspect. All right, so without further ado, we're going to hop into the cards. We're going to use the Moonology deck, the old school Moonology deck, to begin here. It's been a little while since we pulled out this deck. Clear. Give us some guidance, some information on this full moon in Virgo. Full moon in Virgo, March 7th, 2023. What do we need to know? What guidance do we have? What does Spirit want to tell us regarding this full moon in Virgo? All right. First card out, your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. And then meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. All right. So we have the practical and the spiritual, right, coming through. The realism and the idealism, right? Like how that rhymes. It's important to have a modicum of both here. And so we want to utilize the energy of Virgo. The positive and beneficial energies of Virgo here. Virgo is incredibly practical, like the sign of Taurus. All right, it is another earth sign. Virgo is strategic. Virgo is really good at creating plans, creating lists, creating goals, and moving towards those. Organization. Get yourself organized during this full moon in Virgo. All right, and a lot of people, they look at full moons as releasing. It's also a time of harvest. As far as releasing goes, Spirit wants me to give you some options and some understandings of releasing. First off, continue releasing what we're being asked to release this month, which is any attachments to the 3D matrix energies that are hindering your soul's growth. Any attachments to anything that is not aligned with your spirit and the growth and evolution of your soul. Let go of that, release it. All right, allow Neptune and these beautiful Piscean energies to dissolve it. Also with Virgo, we can begin to release self-criticism and perfectionism. These are handicaps of Virgo energy. Sometimes Virgo is so good at seeing the flaws in the world, especially in themselves. And they're constantly, it's the Virgin, right? So this energy is constantly striving to purify, to become better. But Virgo can, because of its ability to micro-focus, that laser focus can turn on the self and it can become very detrimental. So releasing perfectionism, releasing self-criticism, releasing the need to micromanage. Virgo can be a micromanager. All right. There's a card in the Starseed Oracle that came out for us. I think it was during the 3-3 portal, micromanaging the universe. It's about relaxing more into this Piscean energy. Surrendering, outlining those goals, those steps, making that plan, making that list, right? Those bullet points to follow, but at the same time being relaxed about it. Not trying to control how your action, it's like take the actions, but don't try to control what results from them. If that makes sense. All right, take that time for meditation and contemplation as well. Spirit's always reminding us, what do we have on the bottom of the deck? Take time to breathe out. Right? Breathe out. Remember, when we're inhaling, we're taking in. When we're exhaling, we're releasing. All right, so breathe out. Check your breath. Make sure that you are breathing. A lot of us, it was actually the first time this concept was brought up to me was a long time ago when I was receiving acupuncture. And my acupuncturist, he was an incredibly, he had that vibe, that beautiful, pure energy of a healer, of someone with those pure energies and intentions. He was just a gorgeous, gorgeous soul. And he told me during one of our first sessions, he said, do you ever notice that you've stopped breathing? And I'd never thought about it before. I was like, I don't know. And he said, pay attention to that. If you notice that you've stopped breathing, consciously remind yourself to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And that was when I noticed, and I still do it. I still have to bring myself back to this awareness that I honestly sometimes forget to breathe. That's how much tension, that's how disconnected we can become sometimes from our bodies, from ourselves. And so really paying attention to that, taking that time. We are in a more relaxed, this is just a physiological fact, not let alone a spiritual or esoteric fact, right? That when we breathe deeply and slowly, we are more relaxed. All right, so work with that. Pay attention to the breath. Breath work, a great way to release energy. That can be really powerful during this full moon. And if you're not sure what that practical plan is for your dreams, if you're not sure what those steps are that you can take some time to meditate. See what comes through. I'm being reminded, and the replay is still available for anyone. We did a throwback moon ceremony for the last new moon of 2022. That was, I forget what sign that last new moon was in. But we set those powerful intentions, and what Spirit had us do was create, I think it was 5 things that we wanted to accomplish. 5 goals. Things that we wanted to manifest, and then Spirit had us break them down into action steps. What are the steps that I can take towards this goal? So working with that similar kind of an energy for everyone who attended that. Then we have expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. And of course, the full moon in Virgo, you are good enough. So this is that self-love. This is that self-worth energy coming through again. All right, releasing that criticism, releasing that perfectionism. Perfectionism will keep you trapped. It will keep you still. All right. There's a long time in my life where I didn't do anything that truly mattered to me because of my perfectionistic tendencies. I am a moon in Virgo. Because if I couldn't do it perfect, I didn't want to do it at all. And so what did that... Are we ever perfect? Not in that sense of the word. In the sense that we are in all of our flaws, all of our strengths, all of our weaknesses, all of our being exactly perfect and exactly who and what we are meant to be all the time. Yes, there is such thing as perfection. right? In the fact that we are all infinite source, love, light, there is and a perfect creations of that source, love, and light. There is perfection. But in the ways that we judge perfection on this planet most of the time, doing things 100% right all of the time, never making a mistake, there is no such thing as that. Okay? And it's like, you can be perfect in your own eyes by accepting yourself wholly and completely as you are. You're never going to be perfect in everybody else's eyes because everybody else has a different perception and a different idea of what they think you should be. All right? And this is why it's exhausting trying to be what other people want us to be. We'll be chasing that forever. Okay? So, really, be in this state of embracing all that you are, your shadow, your light, everything, as your perfection, seeing yourself as perfection in that way, but not demanding perfection of yourself in all of these minute, micromanaging kind of ways. If you practice and really hone this energy of self-love, you can expect powerful change. And really, when we're doing anything, self-love is the thing that has to come first. Love and compassion and acceptance of self. It's really difficult to do shadow work and deep healing work if we don't love ourselves. All right? Because we fall into that energy of beating ourselves up, of blaming ourselves, of the guilt and the shame and all of those energies that are like, they're toxic to our vibration, right? So it's loving ourselves. That is the number one goal. Everything else comes out of that. But what Spirit is also saying is that your self-worth is going to increase if you are able to take the actions. If you create this practical plan to help you to get closer to your dreams and you follow through on that, that is going to help to build your self-worth. All right, so just get going, get moving. That's what that square to Mars is saying. We may be feeling paralyzed, but it's like we have to get out of the paralysis. With Virgo especially, that energy of analysis paralysis is very relevant. Virgo ruled by Mercury, an air sign. All right, also ruled by Chiron, right, the wounded healer. There can be a paralyzing energy of the mind as well that we have to get out of, and the best way to get out of that is through movement of any kind. Heart guided, of course. All right, we don't want to just be doing like when I say movement of any kind, I mean positive movement, however big, however small. Remember, nothing is too big and nothing is ever too small. All right, what do I want to do for you guys now? I want to pull a couple conscious spirit cards. It's been a while since we've used this deck. All right, let's get some conscious spirit cards. Clear. Some guidance for all of my conscious spirits on here from the conscious spirit deck regarding this full moon in Virgo. Clear. What do we need to know? What do we need to understand in order to maximize these energies and move forward? All right. We have 40 at day's end, rest. And when I read this, when I saw this card, I thought of like 40 days and 40 nights for some reason. Wasn't that, what was that in the Bible? They say Moses wandered the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. And the heart chakra, card 17. Card 40 and card 17. 17, which breaks down to an 8. 40, which is of course a 4 with that 0, that spirit number in there. But I'm feeling like the reason that the 40 days and 40 nights came to mind is for some of us, it's like we have been on a pilgrimage, on a spiritual journey for quite some time now. And we might be feeling, we might be feeling drained. All right? And so Spirit's saying, allow yourself the rest, allow yourself the rejuvenation. This heart chakra card says, I love myself and others unconditionally and nurture loving relationships. So this full moon is all about how can we nurture ourselves and then in turn nurture others as well. if and when we have the additional energy and nurturing to give. Some people finding respite in nature, finding healing in nature by water. On the earth herself, Virgo is an earth sign, so working with that earth energy, the soil, the ground, the grass, the trees, right? Finding restoration. Restoration within the heart as well. I'm feeling this energy of like learning the energy of self-love and self-care by observing nature. Like nature, the planet herself has messages for you if you're open to receive. And we can connect to the pure, true heart of we call her Gaia, right, in the spiritual community. One of the books of the channeled material that I've been reading lately said that actually Gaia is not a vibrationally fitting name for her, which I found interesting. So I always think about that when I call her that now. But this beautiful planet, right? Yes, she, like all beings that reside upon her, has been afflicted by this virus, right? This cosmic virus. However, just as you and I can connect with the pureness and trueness of our hearts, we can connect with the pureness and trueness of her heart as well. When we set that intention to receive, we receive that healing from her true form, her true vibration. We access that through our own true vibration. Our own true form of love light connects with hers. And she brings us healing, she brings us guidance, wisdom. So this is like a Four of Swords vibe feeling here. We have Crystal Ascension on the bottom of the deck too, so working with crystals as well, which are another beautiful formation of earth energy, as well as higher dimensional energies, right? The Lemurian quartz came up in the 3/3 portal reading that we did. Lemuria has been coming up a lot. We've been learning more about Lemuria as well in the one of the courses that I'm taking. So it's just interesting how that energy keeps coming through. Lemuria, as I've been learning, being the original peoples of this planet, the original civilization, Earth civilization. So taking us back to our roots, right? So Lemurian quartz, perhaps one of the quartzes we might want to utilize. Heart chakra, so we're looking at rose quartz, we're looking at any of those beautiful pink and green stones. Always cleanse and clear your crystals before you use them. Set that intention to restore them to their original and intended frequency. Their truest and purest frequency. But it's like, take that time out, Four of Swords energy. Take that time out to nurture your heart. To give yourself the recuperation time that you need, the restoration that you seek. Yeah, we have nature spirits coming out with crown chakra. All right, so once again, this energy of honoring nature, of communing with all of the beautiful elemental beings who support this beautiful planet and live here side by side with us in other dimensions, right? Just because we can't necessarily see them doesn't mean we can't sense them. And I'm seeing the frog here. I've never noticed that frog before. I feel like some of these elemental beings may be showing themselves to some of you in other forms. Like, for instance, a toad or a frog, they might take the form or the shape of. Butterflies. Even moths. like other beings. So if you're noticing a lot of these animals when you're out in nature, you may actually be communing with the elementals. They may be showing, remember, higher consciousnesses, other consciousnesses that have raised themselves to a higher vibration, they are pure energy, and they can materialize as in any form that they wish. They can take on any form. All right, so I feel like some of these they're coming to you in these forms when you're out in nature. So if you're feeling that, if you notice, if you get that feeling within your heart, and you're noticing a lot of these animals around you, that they may in fact be these elementals. So honor nature's spirits, commune with nature and her spirits. They want to bring upliftment to your heart. They want to bring joy back to your being. And we have the heart and the crown. So these are powerful, like, activations, right? Powerful chakras to be activated during this time and to be worked with. That crown chakra connects us to all of that cosmic consciousness, right? That higher spiritual wisdom and knowledge. And then on the bottom of the deck here, that's all I want to say about that. I just wanted to make sure. We have movement meditation. All right. So this is about moving. This is about getting that energy flowing, like we talked about. Working with the energy of movement. Working also to move energies within your body and to assist in the integration of energies through movement. There's a reason why all of our body systems function better when we're moving more. Clear. Especially all body systems. It's because that movement is healing and healthy for our being. And then we got Moon Goddess on the bottom of the deck. Love it. All right, I want to pull a Lightworker Oracle card for you to close this reading. Full Moon in Virgo. Clear. Let's get some guidance. Full Moon in Virgo. What guidance do we have for my light workers? Oh, I love it. This is interesting. We have another 17 card. Family of Light coming through. And so this is all about connecting with your family of light, which was another something that came through with the 3-3 portal reading. I'm feeling like your family of light wants to offer you healing during this portal, this full moon in Virgo, and the 3-3 portal. During this whole first week of March here, anytime you wish to connect with them. Connect with them in meditation. All right, see the activation of the light body. See all the rainbow colors in the light body lighting up here. Your family of light wants to offer you wisdom. They want to offer you healing. They want to offer you knowledge. They want to offer you solutions if you are struggling with something. I want to see if there's anything I want to read. Normally with the closing card I read for you guys. Yeah, I'm going to read this for you guys. All right. The limits that much of humanity place upon their love, that they will love their own family, country, religion, or community better than they love those on the outside, do not restrain your heart. You are capable of loving humanity, of loving all creations on earth as an extended spiritual family. You will love all as your own. You are meant to belong to a broader family of light. While some souls have incarnated to learn about us and them, others have the purpose of teaching unconditional, all-embracing love. And if you're watching this, you are one of those people. You are one of those. You have taken life to love. You have taken life to love the many, not just the few. For this life purpose to be anchored, issues in your biological family may keep you from bonding with them in a typical way. Perhaps you were the odd one out in your family, the one whom no one really understood. We like to call that the black or the rainbow sheep, right? Perhaps you felt loved, but you couldn't live the way your family seemed comfortable to live. Maybe you lost family members through divorce, disease, depression, and death. or through addiction or emotional immaturity that left you disconnected from key family members. If your father figure was absent whilst you must do the emotional healing work to process that pain, understand the purpose of that absence for your own spiritual connection to remain intact, pure, and powerful. If your mother figure was absent whilst you are advised to do the emotional work to process the pain, understand the purpose of that absence for you to look beyond your immediate family to find your place and find yourself belonging to and being devoted to the entire human race. This pain was part of how you remained unconditional by the more typical family bonds. Whilst these bonds are necessary for many souls to experience their life lessons, the difficulty you may have experienced regarding them helped push you to become a child of love. You had to seek family in expansive ways, remaining open as you searched for love, rather than feeling satisfied by your immediate tribe and closed to those outside it. You can come through your experience not as a victim of circumstance, but as an empowered soul. Process it, heal, forgive, and step into the spiritual blessings gained through your atypical relationship with your biological family. Although you are not meant to belong in a traditional way to your family of origin, you shall not be denied the love you need. You are here to help build a human family joined by more than blood or legal union. It will not just be you loving the world, but the world loving you. The power of your heart to give and receive love shall not be wasted. So it is time to gently undo the patterns of attempting to fit in. Instead, trust that you are ready exactly as you are meant to be. Trust that you are exactly as you are meant to be, right? Perfect. When you do, your magnetism will draw love and friendship from those who vibrate at a similar level of consciousness to you. Leave the past hurts and rejection behind. You no longer need them to grow. Be brave. Pray to connect to your family of light, not only in spirit, but also here on earth. Let them in. Know that you belong here in spirit and in body, to be loved, held, touched, listened to, and accepted, just as you are. And that is absolutely perfect. Definitely watch the 3-3 portal reading. We talked about the family of life and the soul group, the soul family, and the 3 of Cups energy, and how we were feeling that soul family really being called in during this portal. But how do you call that in? We talk about this all the time. You call it in through your vibration. You call it in through living in your sovereignty and your authenticity, which vibrates, emits your soul song, which attracts your tribe. All right? If you don't fit into this world, it's here because you came to create a new one. Okay, so what are we creating? What are we co-creating today? A lot of people have a lot of wounds. I know there's a lot of people who watch this channel who relate to this energy of not fitting in with their family, not feeling connected to their family, possibly suffering trauma and abuse at the hands of their family. There is a plan and a purpose for everyone and everything. You are meant to seek beyond the confines of the family. But remember, we're not seeking for love outside of ourselves in the sense of expecting other people to fill us up with the love that we lack within. We're finding and getting in touch with that love within first. And sometimes for many of us, that has to be a solitary process. There are other people that come to teach us, that come to aid us, either by showing us an abundance of love or showing us where we lack love within ourselves, right? But much of this journey for many of us is a solitary one until it's not. And I feel for many people, this is the until it's not part. All right? Where your own soul child is being reborn. You're connecting more deeply with your soul. It's like that attracts your family of light. And as you attract your family of light, it also assists you in connecting even more deeply with your soul. So like we've said recently, pay attention to the people coming into your life right now. All right, they are not coming here. They're not coming in by accident. They never are. But really pay attention to that right now. Clear. Because those souls who are meant to lift us up, and you'll know by their vibration. Obviously, this is like, I say some things that don't really need to be said because the emotional intelligence, clear, and the general overall intelligence of everyone in this tribe and on this channel is pretty high, right? But sometimes I say these things anyway. Of course, don't just assume anyone coming into your life is for your highest good. But if they feel good, if you're feeling that vibration and that resonance, really pay attention, because they're coming in to help assist you clear and lift you up right now. All right, you guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to hold that final card out for anyone. A win-win outcome is forecast. Keep the hope. Keep that hope and that faith. Keep living in your integrity, living in your sovereignty, and know that, and keep that. I feel like the reason this came up is Spirit wanted us to keep this win-win mentality, this always winning mentality as we're moving forward. I like to say things like the universe is always watching out for me. My universe is always looking out for me. Good things are always happening for me. I am attracting only beneficial experiences. Do work with some affirmations like that to assist you in maintaining that positive mind frame, that positive mind state. I think that's all I wanted to say. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and let me know. There are links to donate down below. My services are listed, as well as my website, if you guys want to book on any one-on-one time with me. All of the multitude of different things that I offer. If you're feeling called to do so, all the information on how to do that is below as well. Our Facebook group, if you guys want to join that, is below. I created that as a way for people to be able to connect with each other, sort of outside of this channel. Yeah, you guys are amazing. I appreciate you so much. I'll talk to you soon.